Literature review and conceptual frameworks. The literature review is a key step in the research process. After a research topic has been identified and a question has been created, the next step that the researcher takes is the literature review. And as we know that the modern day library really provides us with a lot of information to retrieve and to access. And this is a key step for the researcher because they are able to access information about methods, what's been done, what hasn't been done, and really find out what's known and not known about the topic that they're interested in. Of course, you can determine gaps in the literature. At the end of an article publication, usually the researchers will say, this is an area for future research, so this is a topic that needs to be further investigated, or perhaps my study needs to be replicated again, and with more replication, the stronger the evidence, obviously. And the literature that you read can also give you insight into interpretation of your own study. And the lit review is a timely process for researchers. It obviously varies depending on the topic and how much literature is published out there. And accessibility really is not an issue or an excuse for nurse researchers, because even if there's an article or a topic or a thesis dissertation that's out there and available, typically you can even just email that author right away and have access to that content. So a literature review is a key step in the research process. So I have an activity. I want you to take a few minutes to see where you go to find literature. Your textbook gives you a list, gives you a variety of ideas. And I'm going to share with you in a moment where my favorite place is to go to access literature. The Cochrane Library and the Cochrane Collaboration is an outstanding place. Right there it says trusted evidence, informed decisions, better health. That's their mandate. And they certainly publish some of the best evidence because they synthesize it all and put together what the current evidence is at the time, so that application of the evidence into practice can happen. So they have the top 50 reviews that are accessed all the time. They have a variety of topics that they've done systematic review. So I'd really encourage you to access this and encourage your peers and people you work with to use this as an excellent resource for evidence. It's one place where you can get literature, but obviously you're also going to go to other places too. So all of you probably have your favorite places to find literature, but it's important to have a variety of areas to go to when you are a nurse researcher so that you make sure and exhaust all the literature that you need to for your research study so that you can best set yourself up to be successful, using the appropriate method in the right ways, learning from others how they've conducted research and what findings they've found, and then in the end comparing your findings to the findings in the existing literature if that study's been done before. A big question that novice researchers have is, how do I organize the evidence? Certainly there's a lot of software to do, but if you're looking at preparing to summarize an article for your peers, your coworkers or whatnot, there is some systematic ways to do that. So if you look in your textbook, page 116 will provide you just a simple one-page worksheet so that you can take that article, summarize it, and be able to use that sheet as a summary sheet and a reference point. It has a citation, you can identify the type of study, it being quantitative or qualitative, the location, key concepts, design, or the qualitative tradition you're using, sample, data sources, findings, recommendations, strengths, and weaknesses. So that's what you do when you look at a literature review, is you read through the article, pull out the pertinent pieces, and from each article, and then you're able to compare those articles or publications from one to the next. So characteristics of a literature review include an objective review of the literature related to the topic. It provides a summary of literature at the end of the review. When you're looking for this lit review in your report, it will be under the background section or lit review. It's not always titled literature review, but it's pretty obvious because there's several references within it, that first few paragraphs, and it becomes at the beginning of the research article. You might be familiar with some of the integrative reviews that I'm going to discuss. There is the traditional narrative review, and these are published in a lot of nursing journals on a specific topic or a specialized topic, and what they do is they collect all the evidence from the research studies and then share and compile it and share it. So it's a synthesized narrative review of the research literature. A meta-analysis is specific to integrating quantitative research findings, so comparing the statistical numerical data, and it examines the study as a unit and looks at them objectively, because of course quantitative research focuses on being objective. Qualitative meta-synthesis is integrating qualitative research on a specific topic and synthesizing them together to present it. So those are the three different types of integrative reviews that you might see published in nursing journals. Next we're going to talk about theory and research. The relationship of theory and research is really back and forth. Theories are built from observations in research, and research tests theory. When a researcher conducts a research study, it's important to place that study in a larger context of relevant literature. That gives the findings greater utility and really allows them to be more broadly applied to everyday settings. Now, you're not always going to see a theory identified in a research journal publication, so the articles that you read, but all of us use theories, and research is really testing theory and lending itself to build upon it. So nursing has long pulled on theories from related disciplines such as sociology, psychology, biomedical sciences. Many of you would be familiar with Piaget's theory of development or the germ theory, would likely be familiar, or immunity, pain. So we apply these theories every day in the course of our clinical practice. And as we conduct research, we're testing different hypotheses and theorizing about different things so that we can add to those already existing studies. So an identified framework is one indication of a well-conceived study. It has been a critique in the past when researchers don't provide the theory that it's not building to the larger body of knowledge, but sometimes it's simply just not enough room in an article to be published or whatnot. So I would assert that a conceptual framework theory is important for research, and understand that some of them, if they're not stated, they would be implied frameworks or theories. So with qualitative research, certainly some researchers will take an atheoretical stance, especially when exploring a topic that is new. But your textbook does a really good job of describing how the different methods of qualitative research uses theory. So there's a substantive theory for phenomenology, the ideational or materialistic of the ethnography, who's looking at culture and the artifacts of things. And then there's the symbolic interactionism theory for grounded theory. Theories and quantitative research go together because quantitative research is testing theory because they're using hypotheses. Cited theories are usually not testing the actual theory. What they're doing is they're using them to guide their research and provide broader implications from the findings. So just want you to take a few minutes and think about what theory or conceptual framework might you use for the following research topic. Education intervention for cardiac MI patient. There's many population health promotion, systems, change theory that all can be applied to it. So think about different topics and what theories might fit for those, and I think you'll have a better understanding of how research and theory work together when you start to think about them and in those terms and apply what theories might they be using or what would be appropriate, or how the research would continue to build the concepts of different theories. So in summary, I just want you to know that research really does guide theory. Theory guides practice, and that's how we get the best evidence-based care out there. It's another step of the research process that's important for researchers to consider, and it's also a step that takes a lot of time into consideration to be done. So you might not often read a lot about these, but know that behind the scenes that as the nurse researcher, this is happening. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to contact me, and certainly your textbook is a great resource, but there's lots of literature published on these two steps in the research process as well.